Hey guys, I just found this Facebook group and I noticed that there were some people who had questions about Kundalini and spirituality in general. I make spiritually themed content and I feel called by the Holy Spirit to answer some of these questions. So if there's information in here in these videos that will help you, then that's why I'm doing this. If not, then I wish you luck on your truth-seeking adventures. So I'm just going to take some of the questions that I've seen posted recently and answer them short and succinctly. And if you have any other questions relating to what I'm talking about, please leave them in the comments and I'll address them. So I'll be here all day today and most of tomorrow. So if any of this information inspires you, uplifts you, or enlightens you, and you have any questions or comments, please feel free to add to the conversation. That's why we're here, to all share in oneness and being and grow together as we transcend into these higher states of awareness and being. The first question I'm gonna answer is, what is Kundalini? Why is it sleeping and why should it be awakened? This is a great question and it's very pertinent to this group here, so that's why I'm choosing to answer it first. Kundalini is really confusing if you look at yourself as just a body, this physical entity traveling around in 3D space-time. But really, when you begin to understand the deeper aspects of the human experience, you realize that the true nature of a human is its spirit. And so, from my interpretation and my experiences, Kundalini is basically the spiritual hardware that serves to support your consciousness, your awareness, as it expands and as it grows. A lot of it has to do with your chakras, which a lot of people spend time talking about. I'm not too concerned about focusing on each individual chakra. Your body is inherently spirit-based. We are in this physical realm, but there are much higher dimensions that can be accessed by raising your awareness and your consciousness. So what's happening when your Kundalini awakens is that your consciousness is actually awakening to higher states of awareness. You're actually entering higher realms, higher dimensions that are less fear-based and more based in love and unity. We know, or I've stated previously, that fear stems from separation and love stems from unity. So as you awaken, as your consciousness raises to a higher vibration, to a higher state, you're entering these realms that are more grounded in unity and love. And actually what's going on is that these higher dimensions are more subtle. They're less gross. They don't have as much grounding in the physical realm, but that frees you up to explore more information, more data, and have higher experiences. This is where channeling comes from, because light beings now can talk to you. It's kind of like a software upgrade, but the hardware inside of your body is your Kundalini, and it's sort of linked into the spirit realm, and it ties into different dimensions. But Kundalini more or less serves as the framework to facilitate this spiritual awakening process. Now, why is it sleeping? Well, when humans are born, we're kind of all starting at the same place. We're all predisposed to be better at certain things than others. That's just a lot of genetics and where we came from in our past lives and these other things. But more or less, we are all born with dormant Kundalini. And part of the adventure, part of the journey in life is realizing and actualizing the changes that are happening inside of us and waking up to this spiritual maturity that wants to be born. It's like being born again. And so Kundalini is sleeping because naturally you have to go through this process of spiritual maturity. This happens through your life experiences. The problem with this world is most people right now don't have Kundalini that is awakened, and they are not answering the call to awaken their Kundalini. So if you stop seeking truth, if you sell out, if you become part of this world and decide that spirituality is just not for you, that is your choice. You're exercising your free will. But what's going to happen is your Kundalini will remain dormant, and in terms of spiritual maturity and the evolution of human consciousness, not a lot of progress is going to be made in this lifetime. So it's kind of like you're selling out for this material world that offers these things that are supposed to make you happy, but really they only give you temporary happiness because you're ignoring the true happiness within, which is waking up to your true nature, your spirit. And why it should be awakened is a question that probably is going to differ for different people, but in general, if you go through life and you don't have any spiritual maturity, fundamentally you're going to encounter suffering and you'll encounter problems that you are going to be ill-equipped to deal with. So life comes at you randomly and you never know what's going to happen from one day to the next, but this spiritual awakening, this Kundalini that arises within you, gives you spiritual grounding, because your happiness isn't rooted in the material world. It's rooted in heaven or spirit, or however you want to interpret it. So why it should be awakened is kind of a personal question. For me, I experienced a lot of difficult situations where I lost people that I really loved and I didn't have the proper answers to deal with it. And I was upset that I was unable to help myself. And so that kind of spearheaded my spiritual journey. But everybody encounters their own problems. But the basic answer to that question is, when your Kundalini is awakened, you'll be able to deal with difficult problems much more easily. And after you traverse those problems and overcome them, then you'll be able to be in a position to help other people overcome their problems, which is a really beautiful thing. So we're all here to help one another, which is why I'm answering these questions here for you today. So I hope this helps. If you have any other questions regarding this, let me know, and I'll post a follow-up video.